Hi friends, this is Chris. Welcome back to the channel. So that was some footage of Cybertruck. It appears there are some prototypes out in the field, and essentially they're testing its off-road capabilities. And that was also some footage of Rivian in comparison. I want to go over a couple things and get your thoughts. And it's always fun to talk about Cybertruck because Elon has been promising it for years, and we'll see if it actually comes. You can look at the headline here. Elon Musk admits Tesla dug its own grave with Cybertruck. We talked about this before. This was the earnings call. And basically, you know, the deal is, I mean, you sink so much money in this thing, you might as well try to finish it. And plus, there's a lot of people who theoretically want it. I personally, I think it's pretty ugly, to be frank. So if it's ugly, and the other issue is that I think the cargo capacity is questionable, right? So like, who's the audience for this? I honestly don't know. And moreover, we still don't have a cost. I was on their website today. There's no price, so who knows how much this thing's going to be. They like to brag about how many reservations they have, but I mean, it's $100 reservation, fully refundable. So, I mean, is that a legitimate reservation when you don't even know how much it costs, right? And as it turns out, too, I was reading this. I guess some people, this is on social media, have been saying that they've been canceling their reservation because rumors are that it's going to be a 100,000. And I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, if the Cybertruck, like when they release it, that it ends up being really expensive, because they can make the case, hey, it's limited, guys, and be one of the first, cool kids on the block to buy it. And there probably will be some people who buy it. I mean, honestly, there probably will be. How big the audience is going to be. That's why it's fun to talk about it. I mean, who knows? And also, too, to be fair to Elon Musk and Tesla, it is a different design than other vehicles that we see, right? So, I mean, you are taking risks, and we'll see if it pays off for them. However, though, as we go over this, I always question, it's just to say that it's coming, it's supposed to be officially coming this month, in November, and we still don't have a price. So that's pretty ridiculous. Moreover, they've been promising the Roadster for years. I check on that. Still no price. So if you have any idea how much this costs, let me know. And if you do want to reserve a Roadster, you have to give them $5,000 on a credit card, and then another $45,000 wired. So basically, you give them a $50,000 deposit. They collect interest on your money. Thank you very much. And they just hold it they just hold it, because why not? And if there's people who are willing to just give $50,000 free loans, go for it. But there's no price on either the Cybertruck or the Roadster. I already know the Tesla fanboys and fanboys, girls. I said boys toys, didn't I? Fanboys and fangirls will be sad when they read this kind of stuff. But this is what it is. To be fair, you do have to test a vehicle, right? So let's read through some of that stuff together, because I thought it was kind of interesting, the different things that people were saying about it. And this is actually coming from Elon Musk, so we're talking about clearance. And he's saying here, normally in other vehicles, gasoline or diesel, you've got the differential, which hangs down low between the rear wheels. So you look under the truck, there's always a differential that's hanging pretty low. So if you hit the differential on a rock, you'll break it. But no, this bottom Cybertruck is completely flat and has the best clear height of any vehicle. And that's what he's saying. So they have good clearance, according to Elon Musk. And then he was saying something too about, I guess they can raise the clearance up or down. So who knows? I'm just showing you guys what's coming from Musk.
See this?
The article were describing or I should say the Twitter/X describing what the footage we saw was saying, basically kind of how you have to drive to go over it and the test that they were running. So here we'll read it here together. So it's saying here, the stair step at Hollister Hills. This obstacle is a low traction incline step that requires momentum at low speed, okay? You don't want to punch it up the hill and lose traction. You don't want to stop midway up, and you might not have the momentum to go up without sliding, right? So it's a test of how can you get up this hill, and you just kind of got to go slow and steady wins the race, and you got to build momentum. I think it's an interesting test. The obstacle is slick concrete covered in dust. The steps are not even. They are diagonal, which requires the vehicle to articulate its suspension. Okay, so it's purposely a tough test. I mean, that's why you would do these things. This video of Cybertruck struggling to climb up the obstacle that requires a lot of rocking is very sad. We found this problem with the Model Y too at the dunes. Tesla not giving their enough torque and power at low speed when needed to get out of a tricky position. Here's some video of me and a couple of friends. So then this is a video. So for those of you who are really into cars, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these things, because I think this is a very interesting. The design isn't there, and I guess it could be a design problem with these kind of vehicles. They're just saying they found it on the Y as well. The other article we'll read kind of what they said. It's just fun to read these descriptions. Take a look at this. The park itself is pretty sandy, so it's understandable that traction would be an issue. But after watching through 3 videos embedded in the tweet, which I showed you guys, it appears the Cybertruck really struggles to gain traction as well as handling turns. So I guess it didn't turn that well. And to be fair, I didn't really see footage where I felt like that it was showing turning, unless I missed something. So I mean, the footage I did see, like I could see how maybe the angle of turn isn't great. But I don't have any real strong statement on the turning thing. There's no telling how much each of these prototypes weighs, and this is the key. I thought this brought up a really good point. But it's probably safe to assume things are very, very heavy on a slippery surface, especially if the test team didn't lower the tire pressure. That can recipe for a bad time. Then again, the Rivian, that was the R1T that's in the other video, weighs something like 7,000 pounds and has managed to prove itself to be quite capable off-roader. And there's been a lot of videos called the Rivian that seems like it's a pretty good truck. Whether or not they're going to be a profitable company, and whether or not they can produce a bunch of those things, it's a different thing. But all the reviews that I've seen is like the Rivian's actually a pretty good truck. Moreover, let's see what this says here. Maybe this is proof for the Cybertruck won't be very good off-road. Maybe it'll be better suited for other types of off-roading. Maybe it just needs better tires, right? Maybe. We can't really say for sure. Still, it's enjoyable to watch such a hideous truck struggle to do truck stuff. So I thought that was pretty funny. That's why I wanted to read this stuff to you guys. My opinion on this stuff is I personally don't trust it. I find it sad though that people that just wholeheartedly throw their money at Elon and just believe everything that he says. So that's why I always point out, where's the truck, where's the roadster, where's the robot, this kind of stuff. And the big red flag for me is that they aren't giving a price. So, that would indicate that they're still trying to figure out like how to build it, how much it's going to be, finalizing design. So they're still a long ways away. And that's sort of why I question. I mean, they promised it was going to be out in November, but I mean, that's a couple weeks from now and still no price, it seems. I mean, we'll see. I think it'll be delayed most likely. I also think there's a high chance that maybe they produce 1 or 2 of these things, given to like special trusted people and do his marketing, and then maybe if they ever release this thing, maybe it's like a year or so away from now. But because I would say that if they were indeed going to put these out, we would already see reports of like, hey, the factory's rolling up, look at them all in the assembly line and stuff like that. But I don't know, the promise November seemed pretty ridiculous. Moreover, I thought it was really interesting to actually look at this test track. I have not been to this place. I was at Hollinger Hills, I think that's what they're calling it. So if anyone's actually been here in our community, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I don't know if this is open to the public or something like that. I think it's kind of interesting. But I think for some people, to have like a racetrack where you can, or a test track, whatever you want to call it, where you can go like test your vehicle off-road is pretty cool. Because this is a reality. A lot of people have, off-roading vehicles, but not necessarily anywhere to go with it. Like, for example, they sell Hummers in the USA, which is essentially a military vehicle, and then just drive around the street, right? So, how many people actually get a chance to drive their vehicle in like this kind of environment where you're not going to be, running over pedestrians or anything like that. So I think that would be an interesting thing. Love to hear your thoughts on this test. It looks like, at least according to articles and just watching itself, maybe it is in fact too heavy, and trying to figure out how to balance out the design to maybe, get the weight correct, get the torque correct and stuff like that. But that one person was saying that it was maybe a design problem with Tesla as a whole, since the Y has the similar problem as well. But this is something that's a really serious thing that any of the electric vehicles, is weight, right? It is a real thing to take into consideration. I think it's going to be a big problem for the roads going forward, because roads aren't necessarily designed for these heavier vehicles. So that may certainly be a thing to look out for. And remember, tax dollars pay for these kind of things. So we may end up subsidizing these things one way or the other, be it charging stations through tax dollars or more higher road maintenance. So that's my thoughts on this stuff. And thanks again. And I'll catch you guys next video.